Hello, and welcome to my rank 1 combo Warlock guide. This Warlock is a lot different to the other Warlocks, since it doesn't play Flash Giants, it doesn't care at all about the board. It just heavily focuses on the combo, and if you can pull that off correctly, you're gonna win a lot of games. It's the best deck in the game right now, but if you can't pull it off correctly, you're not gonna win any games. So let's take a quick look at the deck list. As you can see, I only put 29 cards into the deck, but that's because these 29 cards are core. You can't change any of these cards. These cards always have to be in the deck. It's mainly spells that are in this deck, but then there's 6 demons you play. You play Stealer of Souls, which makes the cards you draw cost health instead of mana. Matron, which discards Hand of Gul'dan and draws you a lot of cards. And Dark Lair, which refreshes your mana crystals. So playing only these 3 different minions allows free admission to always reduce your cards. The other cards are just cards that make you survive and not die before you can pull off the combo. Then on the 30th slot, there are different cards you could play. Some people play the Maneri Mosha. The Mosha is very good if you face a lot of hunters, since it heals you for 3 plus the attack of the demon, which is usually Matron. And Nightshade Matron has 5 attacks, so it just heals you for 8 and you can draw it off free admission, so you get it very consistently against aggro. The other cards you can play are either Sorrent, which is a pretty good clear if you face a lot of board decks, like Paladin, Hunter, Shadow Priest. It just clears everything and you don't care about the cards it mill. Like, you're just happy you're getting through your deck. It doesn't matter what you mill. Then the last option, but this one is a very specific one, is the Dark Portal. This one is what you choose if you face a lot of other combo decks, because it makes your combo go quicker. You get your combo parts more often. You just get to combo a bit earlier than the deck without it. So it's only recommended if you really face a lot of other combo decks. Let's talk about the Mulligan. The Mulligan is pretty straightforward and it's kind of simple, but it's very important you don't keep too many other cards, because you're a combo deck after all and you want to draw your combo. So what you need is free admission. Free admission allows you to draw your combo demons and reduce them. This card wins you the game very often. And then you have the weapon, the Ruined Mithril Rod. This card just reduces your whole hand, which is usually like 8, 9, 10 cards the moment it procs, and that's like gaining 10 mana. That's insane, right? It doesn't matter what it reduces, it's just insane tempo that you get, and you can overwhelm other decks with that, or you can pull off your combo a bit earlier. And then Hand of Gul'dan also has an above 50% Mulligan win rate, but I wouldn't recommend to always keep it. It's very good to keep against other slow decks. Like, if you face any deck that doesn't kill you on turn 5, you keep this card. But if you're facing like Hunter, I wouldn't recommend keeping this. Against Hunter, you could maybe keep Touch, or Screw Spirits is a very good card. But that's about it. Sometimes you can keep Soul Shear, if you know there's like a 3 HP minion your opponent is gonna have on turn 2, and you already have a turn 3 play, but most of the time I would just recommend to only go for free admission and the weapon. So how does the combo work? The combo usually contains Dark Lair, refreshing your mana crystals, and Stealer of Souls, making all the cards you draw costing health instead of mana. So this combo would cost 6 mana, but thanks to free admission, you can reduce both of them to 0 and 2 mana, so it suddenly only costs 2 mana to pull that combo off. All you need then is like a big card draw card to combine it with. This can either be Nightshade Matron together with Hand of Gul'dan, which draws you 3 cards, and you could have gotten a reduced Matron by another free admission, or thanks to the weapon, all of these cards could be reduced. Another option, and an option that I hit more often, is having Stealer of Souls and Backfire. You can even go in with Stealer of Souls and only a Backfire, but then it's a bit risky, because you have to find the Dark Lair in the 3 cards you draw. So I would recommend at first only trying this combo when you have Stealer of Souls, Dark Lair, and a card draw card. So then once you play these 2 cards and then you draw your cards, all of them cost health. So you play them and you start fulfilling your quest with the cards you draw. As you go further into this, you might do a reward and the animation takes some time. So often you have to hurry up a lot, like the animations are your biggest enemy in this deck. But if you're quick enough, it's very good. So here in this game you see a very good hand. You have the weapon and you have double free admission. Usually you win every game once you draw like this. But I'm gonna run the game in the background in slow motion, so once we get to the combo I can explain what happens exactly. Just keep in mind you want to have Dark Lair, Stealer of Swords and a card draw card. And then you want to be as exact as you can on finishing your quest. Let's say you have to take 7 damage to fulfill the quest, and you have 6 out of 7 damage taken. You don't want to play a card that costs 4 health at the end of this, right? You want to try to finish the 7 health taken with only taking 1 more damage. You never want to take excessive damage. If damage you use on the quest, it's gonna be wasted. Your opponent is not gonna take this damage, or you're not gonna have enough damage taken to finish the next quest line. All of this can happen. So now in this hand we drew double matron, which is not that great because we don't have Hand of Gul'dan, so we really wanted to draw Stealer of Souls. But we are lucky that we drew another free admission, so we are guaranteed to draw Stealer of Souls the next turn. The issue after that is that we don't have a card draw card. Like, we have a Matron for 2 mana, we have Dark Lair for 2 mana, we have Stealer of Swords for 2 mana, but we don't have anything to draw with it. So we might have to wait even more several turns, but we'll see that soon. Let's hurry up a little until our turn. Yeah, our opponent did some stuff. Okay. We drew a removal card. We could remove the board here, but it's very important to also follow our own game plan. So a lot of you might just tap here and then play the touch. So we get rid of the Neophyte and also we draw a card. It's not that bad, right? But free admission is insane in this deck. If you're not dying on board, like if it's not infinite damage, you should play the free admission instead. Like, if you look at it now, we have a Stealer for 2 mana, a Dark Lair for 0 mana. And the Matron, you could play Matron with that, but we don't have the Hand of Gul'dan. But you could also combine Backfire next turn already with it. That's why it's so good to play free admission here. Oh, by the way, it's not a replay of myself I'm spectating. It's Xblizers, who's currently rank 1 and NA and EU with this deck. I'm rank 2 right now. But this game is just a very, very clean example of how the deck should be played. So our opponent is just trying to pressure us to do his own game plan and is gonna watch next turn what we can do with this deck. I think we should go even slower for next turn. Yeah, maybe we're gonna top deck a draw card, huh? Who knows? And then have to explain everything. So opponent hits our face, puts us to 20. 20 is more than enough HP to do the combo, because often you also hear while you're doing the combo. So we top deck Hand of Gul'dan here, which is very, very good. So now we have to play the Dark Lair and the Stealer of Swords. It's very important to play the Stealer of Swords before you draw the cards. So the cards actually cost heavy instead of mana. So after the Stealer is played, we can play the Matron, and now we draw all the cards and they cost health instead of mana. And for every card we play, we get 1 mana back. So we have Shadow Blast. If Shadow Blast deals excessive damage, it deals damage to us twice. So it gives us back 2 mana if we use that on a minion that has less than 6 HP, which is pretty good. Because if you have 2 Dark Lairs, it would give even more mana back. And then you can also play more other cards, which allows you to basically do a turn where you can make use of infinite mana. We choose to play the unstable Shadow Blast here because our quest hasn't had any progression yet. So we are on 0 out of 6. Playing the Shadow Blast puts us to 2 out of 6. Then the excessive damage from the Shadow Blast puts us to the exact 6 out of 6 damage taken. Then we have enough mana to play the other Dark Lair. And right after that we play Backfire. So now Backfire did damage to us twice, with the 3 damage at the coast and the 3 damage from the card, which means we get 4 mana back from both Dark Lairs together. And also means our next questline, where we have to take 7 damage, is already at 6 out of 7. It's not shown yet, but you can't wait for the animations in these turns. Now we played a Drain Soul on a minion over there, so we can Mortal Coil it. Because Mortal Coil puts the quest to 7 out of 7, and with the card draw, we might get closer to an OTK here. So the next card we draw here is Hand of Gul'dan, which is pretty good, because it allows us to draw more cards, and also it's 6 damage taken. If we take 6 more damage, we are only 2 damage off of fulfilling the Hul questline. So you really want to play the Hand of Gul'dan here instead of the Nightshade Matron, because if you play the Matron, you're just going to lose 6 damage that your opponent could take after you finish your quest. So here we are still watching how the Backfire animation ends, but we have already played the Mortal Coil already too. We are just waiting until we can play more cards. So now we played the Drain Soul, because Drain Soul puts us to 2 out of 8 damage in the next questline, and we only need 6 more damage taken to fulfill the quest. So of course we play the Hand of Gul'dan now. As you can see, the animations are not our friend. We are still in the second questline here, but we have already finished the third questline. It's just not shown yet. So if you want to be as quick as X-Splices here, you need to really hurry up and know what you have to do without watching the animations. You have to keep it all in your head what you want to play. So now we see the Mortal Coil draw, which has happened in like the second questline. We draw the rod. It's very important if you're in these combo turns, you should try to avoid playing the weapon, because every 4 cards you draw, you lose 4 damage. Because your hand gets cheaper, right? But you want your hand to be expansive if you're on these combo turns, so you have to play less cards to finish the quest. Here you see the 8 out of 8. We finished the third quest line. We're getting our reward now. This is usually the most annoying part of the combo, because it takes so long until you get this reward and can play it. And then you want to play all the cards to kill your opponent. So we really have to hurry up here. Now we get the Hand of Gul'dan draws that fulfilled the quest. You get the reward first and then you draw the cards. So next we want to play the Tamsin, because we don't want to take any more damage, right? If we count the damage in hand, the weapon is 3, Skull Spells is 3, Soul Shear is 8, Shadow Blast is 10, Demonic Assault is 4 plus 3 damage. So this is another 7 damage, which is 17 damage already. Not counting the excessive damage on Unstable Shadow Blast. So what we do here is we just play all the cards that cost HP and try to hit to Shadow Blast something that has only 1 HP. Backfire is a very good draw here, because Backfire is 6 damage into our opponent's face. This is all we want to do, right? Yeah, and then we just played the Shadow Blast on the 2-3, and we played the Soul Shear, and we OTK'd our opponent on turn 5. From being on 0 out of 6 on the first questline, to fulfilling the first questline, the second, the third one, playing the quest reward, and then dealing 24 damage to our opponent's face. This was a very quick turn, and you have to get all the card draw to pull this off. Often, if in your combo, if you get out of cards, like let's say you play a Backfire, but then you're not getting a Hand of Gul'dan, the other Hand of Gul'dan, or another Backfire, you sometimes just get stuck there. You can try fishing for another card with a Mortal Coil or with a tap sometimes, but often you're just stuck if you don't get another card draw card. But here everything worked out perfectly. We did everything on turn 5, our opponent is dead, we are happy, and Xspices stays on rank 1 with this. Now we are looking at a more realistic kind of combo. This is a replay from my stream where I got rank 1 legend in that stream, and I was playing the exact same deck. So if you look at my hand here, I have the Stealer of Swords, but I don't have a Backfire or a Hand of Gul'dan that I can play the same turn. So I rather wanna raid, because against Shaman, they can't do infinite damage on turn 6. You usually have like some time against Quest Shaman, so what I try here is to set up a better combo. I tap once more, I reduce my whole hand, I get rid of a card so I have more hand space next turn. And if you look at my hand now, for 1 mana I have Stealer of Swords and Dark Lair, and I can play the Hand of Gul'dan next turn. We are at 25 HP, so we are pretty safe here. It's important to keep in mind that you don't always have to OTK your opponent the turn you pull off the combo. It's important that you draw enough cards that cost health instead of mana, so you set up a potential lethal for the next turn, or that you just gain enough tempo on the board, because playing like 15 cards in a turn can just be enough against most decks to win a game. So don't hurry too much into killing your opponent. So we're gonna play the Stealer of Swords here, the Dark Lair, and we tap first, because it finishes the quest already. We have a clean finish on the 6 out of 6, and we still have enough mana afterwards to draw the cards. So now we're drawing the cards. The quest is at 0 out of 7, so keep in mind that now we want to deal 7 damage to ourselves. And potentially, if possible, like we want to play the second Dark Lair if we find it as soon as possible, so we refresh more mana with every card we play. We do a Demonic Assault here. Demonic Assault costs 4 and deals 3 damage. So we could shoot our own face here with Demonic Assault to do the exact 7 damage, but I choose to rather start clearing my opponent's board, because if you get the board against Shaman, it already helps you a lot, and we can go double 2 plus 3 is 7. So we just play Drain Soul, Shadow Blast, and Free Admission, and we still fulfill the quest line. And we can now potentially use the Demonic Assault, the 3 damage of it, into our opponent's face. Also, with playing the Free Admission, we get to our Dark Lair now, which allows us other options for the turn. Because now you can play, like, let's say you play the Dark Lair, you play a card that goes safe, you can play another 2 mana for something else. Then you can play a card that goes south, and you can play again another 2 mana of a card of your choice. So it just opens up a lot of room if you get the second Dark Lair. Here, what's interesting is that we could fulfill the quest. If we Demonic Assault our face and play the Matron, we have the quest done. But the question is, do we win this turn? Our opponent is at 24 HP. We could do the quest, but does it help? Does it do something? No, we would just be minus 8 HP. We would be at 4 HP against Shaman, which is very easy to kill, and not recommended to be at that amount of HP in this matchup. So what I choose to do is, we can raid a turn. We still have a very cheap Stealer, we have a Dark Lair, and we have some other cards. We still have a Backfire and a Hand of Gul'dan in our deck, which allows us some room to combo again next turn, while also playing the quest reward, since our Stealer of Swords setup with Dark Lair only costs 2 mana. So yeah, I choose to raid here. Shaman only has 6 mana, they can't kill us. We can raid a turn, we can chill. We can try to set up a better combo. Quick skipping my opponent's turn, they're gonna try to put as much pressure on as they can. But they are already tilted. They're probably still watching the animations, because for some reason it always takes longer for the opponents to watch it. So whatever you have to go through with the animations, for your opponent it's worse. If that's a little thing that makes you more happy. So now it's our turn again. We draw a Backfire. Backfire is a huge draw here. We also got to keep the Stealer of Swords on the board, so we don't have to use the 2 mana to play another one from our hand. What's very important now is that we are not overdrawing the quest reward. Because we play Backfire here, it deals 3 to ourselves for the cost of the card, and then it deals another 3 to ourselves because that's what the card does. So we are on 6 out of 8 of the quest, and we just need 2 more damage to fulfill it. Most people would think now, let's just tap, we get another card, we do the quest, we are happy. But right now we are on 9 cards in hand, and if we tap we get to 10 cards and we would overdraw the quest. So at first I choose my opponent's face here, and then I do the Screw Spirits. So this way we get back to 5 mana, and we push 3 more damage thanks to the Demonic Assault. We fulfilled the quest. We had 1 excessive damage on the quest, which is not that great. But another issue with Matron is, if you finish the quest with Matron, you're gonna discard it as well. So please don't overdraw the quest, and don't finish your quest with Nightshade Matron, because you're gonna discard it. So we get to clear half the board here, but that actually doesn't matter. We just make every minion have less HP, so we can Mortal Coil minions, and so we can Shadow Blast the minions to do more damage to our opponent's face. Here we get another Mortal Coil. Fragments are a bit annoying with the animations, because you still have to hurry up in these turns, right? Even if you did a setup the turn before already. But the second Shadow Blast here in hand is 2 damage plus 5 excessive damage, which is already 7. The Demonic Assault is another 7, which puts our opponent at 6 HP already, and then we have a Hand of Gul'dan to finish it off. So yeah, you could have finished the quest 1 turn earlier, but often you should not do that because you can't kill your opponent the same turn. So rather keep a few more cards in the hand that cost health and set up the 1 turn kill for the next turn, so you get it safe done without dying. And that's it with the guide. We are just gonna watch the animations go now and wait until we get our victory screen. I hope I could do some clarification on how the combo works, and if you need any more help on this deck, on how any specific combo works, if you want like a cheat sheet or whatever, just tell me in the comments. I can do that. I can give you anything you need. I just try to keep it as short as possible because there's so much to learn about this deck. I'm having a ton of fun with this. I'm playing it all day and night right now, and I can't stop. So the start might be rough with this deck, but I can really recommend learning it for all the fun and the wins you get after you learned it. So yeah, thank you guys, and if you want to see more videos like this, or if you rather want to see more gameplay oriented or more guide oriented videos, just tell me in the comments. And we got the 1. Let's go.